Hello, welcome back to the stream. If you're just tuning in, my name is Joel Duggan. We are in Satisfactory today, continuing on where we left off, working on some of the quartz and some of the heavy modular frames. I've done a little bit of work in between streams. I was able to plan out and kind of get a beat on what's happening with our aluminum and our quartz. The quartz is not balanced. What we need to do, I think, is decide where and how we're going to be making these 16 heavy modular frames per minute, which seems like so little and yet requires so much. Requires so much. So while we're waiting for the world to load in here, I can pop open the spreadsheet, look at the heavy modular frame factory plans. So you can see down here at the end, we're using 8 manufacturers to make 16 modular frames per minute. And that's going to go into the adaptive control unit production. And anything overflow is going to go into a heavy modular frame storage box. So what we did the last time was we worked out that we're going to need iron plates into assemblers and wire into assemblers to make the reinforced iron plates. That's currently in production. Let's get my bearings here. And it is in production over here. So if we look down here, this is where all of our heavy modular plates are being built. You can see them all loading up on the belts right now. They are all going upstairs. Currently, they're not being put into the right machines because we have yet to set up the upstairs. But once we do, we're going to be using these manufacturers to make heavy modular frames. Currently, these are making our crystal oscillators. And honestly, we've got enough crystal oscillators that I think we're good for quite a while. So I can eventually remove these, not remove these, but change the recipe of these and have them be made this way. Now, we don't necessarily have to do this entire row as it stands. We could double up on this. We could have these face this way and only have 8 per side. And that way the heavy modular frames would kind of go out the back and go on to something else. What are crystal oscillators used for again? That's a really good question. I don't know. Crystal oscillator. So we use it for a lot of buildings, but if I bring up the website again and we go to Satisfactory Wiki. I didn't always use this, but I find now that I'm in much later game, it's essential. Because you want to look ahead a little bit sometimes and kind of like make sure you're not making any mistakes that you're going to really hate yourself for later. Crafting. So they're used in radio control units. That's the other thing. So I don't remember how many crystal oscillators we were planning on making. Quite a few. But we're gonna have to have another facility just like this, I think. This area, I think, is going to be our manufacturing floor where we are right now. So yeah, radio control units are the thing that they are used for, and the recipe is 1.5. Like, yeah, it's not crazy hard. There's not vast numbers of them. And then radio control units are used in pressure conversion cubes, turbo motors. Like, we're going to need these. We're going to need the radio control units, so we're going to have some crystal oscillator production for sure. That's what we're going to do. Like, we're going to look at this and go, okay, pressure conversion cubes and turbo motors. Turbo motors are a thing we're going to need in our next project. and knowing we need radio control units, like that will influence how many crystal oscillators we need. So like if we want to make more than, like, say, let's say we want to make like 10 turbo motors, then we're going to need what's that? So 5 times that, so 20. We're probably going to need 20 radio control units, and that means, I'm just doing real quick math, we're probably going to need, again, 10 to 20 crystal oscillators. So keeping that in mind, there's probably a reason why I had 16 manufacturers up here. Because crystal oscillators, the recipe for them that we're using is just the standard one. So we need reinforced plates, and we'll need more reinforced plates, because right now all of the reinforced plates we're making are being put into heavy modular frames. We can make more, we're just currently not making more. So anyway, that's all coming up here, reinforced iron plates. Actually, what I should do is hook up the storage box. I don't know if I have a storage box for these. I'll have to look downstairs. I have to look downstairs, actually. So that's the entire output. And it looks like we've got wire there, but no overflow. So we will do that right now. Easiest way to do that is going to be probably upstairs. I really can't wait to make these things look a lot better. So here's our crystals, and there's our reinforced iron plates. So I'm just going to make a box right here. And we don't need much. We just need a constant trickle. So I'll put that at that level. That looks about right. And we'll put in a smart splitter. And the smart splitter will be reinforced iron plates. None on the right, and then overflow. And then we just connect that up. Cool. So that'll just slowly move these guys in, and then we'll have a nice bin of reinforced iron plates here when we need it. Eventually what I want to do, all these little siphon lines that I have plans for, I want to have them, instead of going to a bin here in the factory, what I want to do is have them go onto a belt that takes us up to a main storage room. So that's the eventual plan. But originally the storage room was supposed to be there. That's too low. It's too small. I need it to be much, much bigger and much, much higher. So I have not done the whole storage room thing yet. All right, so the next part of the heavy modular frames that we were talking about, if we look at spreadsheet, we have rods. So rods need to go into assemblers for frames. Oh, that's right. Reinforced plates need to go into assemblers. What am I talking about? So these need to go into assemblers for modular frames. So we need rods. So if I backtrack for rods, we need to have 480 rods per minute that go into assemblers. And that will make our 80 modular frames. There are 4 components to the heavy modular frame. Modular frame, steel pipe, encased industrial beam, and screws. So we're currently working on this. And so to make reinforced iron plates into modular frames, we need rods. 480 rods per minute, which means we need 32 constructors. And that means we need 480 ingots. Now the good news is we already have all of our smelting set up. We have all of this being smelted already in the north leg iron smelting. And then we have this part here, the north leg iron smelting floor 2, 3, and 4. So this is what I worked out last night, was that we have all of these floors, 4 more floors of smelting, which means that we can take the second floor and send it to modular frames, heavy modular frames. So we're going to bring this in north leg smelting floor 2, 20 smelters, 600 iron ingots. We're going to take some of them and do something with them. I don't know what. 480 though are going to go into 32 constructors. And I will show you where. It's always bigger than you think, Cosmic. You're right. It's so complicated. And that's like a mid-tier product in the heavy modular frames. Apparently heavy modular frames are one of the biggest headaches in the game. I'm enjoying it, but I can see how people would find it problematic. So those 10, 20 smelters that I just mentioned are right here. They're already cooking. We've got the iron coming out, currently going into an awesome sink. Not acceptable. We need to make stuff. I needed 32 of these constructors. So last night I did a little bit of measuring and planning. And this is what I've decided. We've got 2, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 16 here, and there'll be 16 there. And that is our 32 constructors all making rods. And the cool thing about this is that we have a little bit of room underneath here where we can actually belt these guys up. So I can take this, bring it down here, and send it down up top here. We'll have to rearrange a few things. And that should allow us to create this kind of method where they're being filled from the bottom into the constructor that's going to make the rods. So regular rod. The rods will come out, come up to the top, and then they'll travel along the ceiling and come back out to here. And this is going to come out to here. And I think I'm going to try to leave this part open. I like this window. I like the light we get from it. The game can be notoriously dark. So I want to try to have like a large kind of mezzanine area just to have the factory look cool. I've got lots of room. I can always build higher. I haven't decided if I'm going to build higher here. I'm going to try and keep these at a certain level. But we've got another 2 or 3 floors that we can work on, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm also not entirely convinced that I'm going to end the building here. I feel like it would be a cool idea to continue it along. So I don't like this anymore. It was a cool shape at the time, but we can do so many more cool things now. And this is not as iconic as I thought it was going to be. So I can easily connect these 2 platforms together and have all this space for building machines. So I'm really not concerned about room. Not sure if it's just me if the music is a little quiet in the background, especially when you're near the machines. It might be just because it's that nature of Minecraft music. Yeah, it depends on the track. I find that the Minecraft music depends on the track. I decided to steal an idea from what Darren plays and play Minecraft music in the background for Satisfactory. I'm just getting a little bit tired of like dubstep and techno and stuff like that and the synth wave, because there's only so much you can listen to that's royalty free before it starts to get repetitive. And the Minecraft soundtrack is like 5 hours long, so I could turn it up. You're right. Let's try that. We might have to change our tune briefly. Unfortunately, I don't have it on a separate audio link. I'm working on that behind the scenes. I'm working on transitioning my streaming from Streamlabs OBS to OBS Studio. And once I get that done, then we should be good. So this is something that we could hook up. And now that I know where it's coming from, what I want to try and do before I put like all the different belts and all the different machines, I really want to try and figure out where the rest of the components are going. So again, if we take a look, actually what I'll do is I'll move out of the noisy belts here. I'll move somewhere it's quiet so y'all can hear me while I talk about the plans. There we go. So again, spreadsheet. That's the constructors. So then we have the steel pipe, encased industrial beam, and screws. So the easiest of those three is going to be the screws, because we have a special recipe for screws. If I switch to look for screws, I really wish that the advertisements on this page would just not be so prominent. It's really disturbing. They're everywhere. Distracting, I guess, is the better word. Tips, recipes, chainsaw. Yeah, so we need screws for computers, and we need screws for heavy modular frames. 200 a minute. Generally in the game, you need a lot of screws. We are not using screws currently for plates. We're using stitched iron plates, but that can change. We can do all kinds of stuff there. We're not using the rubber. So one of the alternate recipes that we have for screws is this, the cast screw, which means instead of making rods first and then screws, we just make screws straight from ingots, and you get way more. It's a nicer combination. You do need a little bit more power, but it works out to be a much easier way to do this. So screws are the next thing. And so if we look at our screws, we need heavy modular frames, 200 screws a minute. There's 8. So we need 1,600 screws. So the way that I do this is I grab something like this, I have a nice kind of idea of what I need, and then I just start working backwards. So I often find that the best way to do this is to just grab a constructor. So here's an example right now of the cast screw recipe. These are some of these storage bins that I've been siphoning off throughout the rest of the playthrough. So 12.5 iron ingots per minute and 50 out. So we can just take that information, toss it in here. So we'll do 12.5 iron ingots in, and then out is 50 screws per minute. And we'll do cast screws alternate so that I know I'm using a different recipe. And now all we need to do is figure out how many constructors we need. We know we need 1,600 a minute. We're making 50, so it's pretty easy to just do 1,600 divided by 50 is 32 constructors. Sound familiar? Because we needed 32 constructors making rods as well. So the nice thing there is we know how to lay them out. It's usually 2 rows of 8 and then multiply that. Now we can make more screws than 1,600 a minute. We don't have to just stick to 16 because, as you saw, we need them for other things. So this is where I like to backtrack and figure out how many ingots and how many smelters and all that kind of stuff I'm going to need. So we need 12.5 iron ingots a minute. We know now we need 32 constructors. So the number of ingots coming in is just 32 times 12.5, which is 400, which is not that much. Which is great. So 400 ingots per minute. We'll make these guys blue. So then you got iron ingots per minute. 400 iron ingots. Now smelters make 30 ingots a minute out of 30 ore. So in order to figure out the number of smelters we need, first we just toss in 30 iron ore per minute, and that puts out 30 iron ingots per minute. Then it's just 400 divided by 30, which does not work out to a nice number. So what ends up happening here is that we'll probably choose a different number, 14, 16, whatever, based on probably what's coming in. So I don't know what the source is yet. So we need at least 14. One of which will be underclocked. But generally speaking, if you look at our Devastator information, usually what's going to happen is we're going to have either a pure node or a normal node, and it's going to be 600 iron per minute, or it's going to be 300 iron per minute. This is actually probably incorrect. If that's a normal node, that's probably 300. I'll have to check that. 13, 14, and 15. Let's just check that right now. I should have that all marked on the map. Plus it's dark. So iron 13 is pure. 14 is pure. And 15 is pure. So my spreadsheet is wrong. This just needs to be pure, and that makes these numbers correct. So we know we have floor 3 available and floor 4 available with 600 iron ore happening right now. And what we need is 400. So it would make sense to send all 400 or all 600 to screws, knowing we're going to need screws for other things. So right now we're putting all of the screws in those 32 constructors towards heavy modular frames, but we need to make computers too. So this is where you kind of want to look at the other things you want to build. Screws are needed for rotors. We're not making rotors right now. Well, not here. We're making rotors in the world. We're not making rotors at Devastator. How's the music volume now? I mean, I know it depends on what track is playing. Is there any spreadsheet pink? Yes, there is. I'll show you. The quartz production is pink. So I would say we need to look at how many, like, screws. It's 100 a minute for rotors. 60 a minute for iron. No, iron plates. We may or may not want that. I say we're going to at least do a full 600. So at the bare minimum, we're going to take the next floor, which is floor 3. I don't know why these are messed up. So we're going to go here, and we're going to say screw production. Change that to blue. So this is from iron 13. So Smelters. It's going to be 20. This is actually a really good way to handle the nighttime in the game. Like if it gets too dark to play inside because of the way that the night happens in the game, then we can just use that time to like plan. So I said at least 14. We're going to go 20. So that will actually end up pumping out. We'll have to check the numbers on that. But this is going to be iron ore at 600 a minute. And the source on that was iron miner number 13. Which is a Mark II miner overclocked to 600 per minute. Pure node. Cool. And we know that this is happening in the Devastator North Leg Iron, but it's actually floor 3. Yes. Floor 3. This just helps me track all this kind of stuff down later. So, what's happening here is that we will probably put in the 600 ingots that's going to produce, and that means that we have to change this output number. And this is probably going to split off here. We'll have screws going to the heavy modular frames, and then we'll have screws going somewhere else. I don't know where. So now we're up to 600 ingots. And so we need 600 divided by 12.5. It's not going to be a good number. Oh, it's 48. Okay. So constructors is now up to 48. And we'll say 32 needed for every modular frames. And so 48 at 50. Oops. Is 2400. Oh, I made a mistake. This is going to move down here. This is going to siphon off there. We might have to move that back actually, but anyway, this is going to be 1600 screws per minute. Which leaves 800 here, which is not nothing. So now we got to figure out where we're going to put 48 constructors. And where are we? We are 2 floors down. And hey, the sun is coming up. How good was that timing? So we could do a couple of different things. This is going to be all of our rods. We are going to have another floor above here. This is going to connect along here. But I think, yes, this is the edge here. So we could use this space. And I could probably double up and have a second height. I feel like we might be able to get away with having this not come out this far. Again, keeping that open mezzanine kind of area. And so we could use all of this space for constructors, but we'd probably have to add another layer. And this is where I didn't want to get into finishing these buildings because we need 48. There's already 32 here. So I would need 8, 16, 24, 32. So we could repeat that layout, which is kind of boring. $800, not nothing. Yeah, it's a lot. It's more than one belt. It's like 2 belts of screws. So this building in particular just is not big enough, I don't think, to house 48. I mean, it would be if we finished the floor, which I guess I could do that too. What happens if we do that? We take this all the way to here. We would make sure we give ourselves a path. Walking path there, if we needed one. And that would leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I believe that this has to be our walking path as well. So we fit 10 constructors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we don't really get that many more. And then that becomes an issue because you got to think about belt speed too. Like when you put them in bays of 8 and bays of 6 or whatever, you got to think about how many belts you have to bring out. So that's kind of tricky too. Now we have more room here. We could go all the way to the side. And again, this building doesn't have to end here. We could change the way that that looks. Sometimes I'm not sure if the music really matches what I'm doing. I've downloaded, or I should say downloaded, I have access to Apple Music, so I have a playlist of all of the Minecraft soundtracks. So if we wanted to do 8, I think the thing to do might be to expand the building. Because bays of 8 are probably our best bet, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 16, and 16 is 32. We would just need another 8 here, right? What about the Satisfactory soundtrack? There is one, but it's only in game. We could do that too. I mean, I can always just skip the track too. Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of... Maybe we'll just go with no music. What's the options? Audio. Music volume. I don't remember what a good volume is. It's been a while. Cosmic says you'll sing for everybody. Nice. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need 6 rows, right? $48 constructors. Yeah, 6 times 8 is 48. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would do it, and it really doesn't push us out too far here. I sort of already had that plan on the base, so I think that's probably a good way to do it. Whether or not we keep the design of this roof, I don't know. I feel like that was just such a temporary thing. But this feels like probably the best way to go about this. It keeps us in the like a mirror footprint for upstairs to downstairs. The only problem, and this is where I shot myself in the foot, is, and I was talking about this last night, I did not build in logistics floors, so all of the belts and stuff are happening in this particular building anyway. They're happening with the machines. I really prefer to try to get a cleaner look now that I've played this game a lot more, and we'll have to figure out the best way to do that. Am I out of concrete? I'm out of concrete. So this will not be here, obviously. We'll remove the awesome sinks and all that kind of stuff. But I think that could work. We could just place in a couple of our constructors now. Hey Marcus, how's it going? Sorry I didn't see you come in. So we were lining these up on the edge. That. That gives us just enough room to put a splitter in between them. And then for clarity, we can just paint everything blue. $48 constructors. What did I say? 2,400? 2,400. Screws per minute. And I think we'll put another little sign up here saying it's going to 1,600 to heavy modular frames? Yeah. So now we know what the plan is for this part of the room. Cosmic Dancer gifting a tier 1 sub to Marcus 1170. Marcus, make sure you join the Discord if you haven't already. You can find that by connecting your Discord and Twitch accounts and then looking for the Joel Duggan Discord in your Discord connections tab in your settings. Alright, so that is that. That right here is the source. So you can see how close we are to all that. This is 600 ingots just flying out right here. And we're going to put it all in here. So we can find another way creatively to do this. I don't think I want to go up on another floor just yet. I feel like this might be the better way to handle this for now, is to plan to expand out this way. So I will quickly... Oh, no, right. I'm out of concrete. So that's good. I feel like that's good. What we can do now is maybe make just a note in our sheet that the screw production is in Devastator North Leg Iron Floor 3. Yeah, I guess that's accurate. We'll just change that to like a blue color. Cool. So you'll notice something down here where I've got a bunch of these recipes. And basically this is me looking at what it's going to take to make encased industrial beams. So what I was looking at was how complicated it was versus how much power we could make. And so there's an alternate recipe that we have access to, and it actually is a lot. It's more expensive power-wise, 920 versus 888, but it's a lot simpler. Like the numbers are like 14 versus like 17.3. It's like 28. 24 smelters versus 19 smelters. So there's some moving around here. There's a lot of constructors again versus 6 refineries, but you get the same amount, and the power draw is only slightly different. This is the real big thing, is the 13 assemblers versus 20. So most of it has to do with how you make the concrete, whether you make the concrete in a refinery or whether you make the concrete with traditional means. There's also the ingots as well. So I think I know which one I'm doing, but we'll have to get there because we need steel pipes as well. So it might be easier to set up the steel pipe production and then just kind of branch off of it. But we are not even making steel. So this is where it's good to plan for these heavy modular frames, but I also have to like get the base production of some of this stuff up and running as well. It looks like we've got iron ingots that could be used for screws too. 120. We have a nice number with 48. I don't want to mess with that right now. Okay. So, where are we going to make steel? Steel requires coal and iron ingots because we have an alternative recipe for that. And my thought would be to make steel here. But we also we've got steel on both, like we've got room on both sides. And I do have refinery room as well. I think I've got room over here. Weirdly, the iron that's coming in from the south of the map is being routed all the way to the north. So I've got some iron that's free. Yeah, I don't have. Right, I didn't want to fill that space with factory. It was kind of here down. Oh, here we go. Right, so we don't have a lot of room until we have to go back up again. I think what I should do is I should map out some base level flooring. Because I think I want to utilize some of this space. Not all of it, but some of it. One of the things I'm very concerned about is my giant main bus just doesn't have the capacity to pull things down and get things into the factories. Vertical buses are usually the preferred way of doing this kind of stuff, but like, I don't know, I don't want like a bunch of stack of lines going through here. I kind of wanted it to look like just all kinds of flat bus stuff. Also, we need to hook up a buffer for the quartz. The quartz has like a lag in it, so I'll have to look at that too. So I needed more concrete, didn't I? I don't even know where my construction train is. I guess it's probably at the station. Yeah. Oh, good. We could probably dump a few things. Oh, I don't need that in my inventory. Should be good for... I don't need that many of those. Cool. I always liked the way the main bus looked. Cool to see everything coming along the belts. Yeah, I agree. The problem is that you don't know how to pull it away. Like over here you'll see, like, to get them out of the main bus, you have to pull them down and get them out of the way. And that's good because, like, if, for example, here's a good example. The quartz has to go into that building there. And so to get it past the bauxite, you just drop it down and run it over. So the idea is that you have 4 meters of space underneath all of your belts. But then when you start to double stack the belts, how do you, like, it becomes very difficult to pull things. And then you get into splitters and it becomes a real mess. And so one of the things I thought about doing was having some stuff in the middle that could pull things down, which would require access to underneath the road, which is fine. But I need to look at like a how-to tutorial video or something about how to do a horizontal bus, because I just really don't get it. It's not something that's clicking with me. Vertical bus I get. Vertical bus is, well, here it is. That's a vertical bus. So you can see very clearly over here. I can stand on the wall. Like, that's a vertical bus. So it's very easy to pull things left and right because you just, as long as you're not like right on top of one another, then you can just pull them down and send them anywhere. So that's great. That's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. So yeah, just a little tricky. And I don't want something like tall like this running down here. I don't think. Maybe I do. I mean, that's going to go. So maybe instead of this, like, 18, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 15 belts. I can fit 15 belts here comfortably. Rather than having 15 belts running across horizontally. Maybe I just want to have like 2 rows, you know, of vertical bus. But then that just, you lose this whole like giant kind of cityscape if you've got like this big tower thing in the middle. Which, I mean, maybe we could house it, we could design it and have something around it, but then you can't see inside of it. I don't know. I had this great idea, but then it just isn't really coming together the way that I want. Things like Megatron have come together much better, right? So in order to pull like this one down, you have to pull this one down first. So, I mean, it's possible. Like you can just dip it below, you know, do some loop-de-loops if you really want to. So it's not impossible. It just becomes very hard to track and figure out. So anyway, that's going to be where I take my first break. I'm going to pop onto a break train. I think I have one around somewhere. I'm actually going to try and see if I can jump on Mixmaster because I want to track some stuff at Mixmaster. One of the things I want to do is I want to hook up a tower and look at some resources up at the Red Forest. And then we can try to do something else. We can maybe make another train tower. We can look at, you know, some of these trains need to be sorted out. So I'm just similar to the oh, I took the wrong one. Is that Mixmaster? Mixmaster's not here. Ooh, where is the Mixmaster? Bone Crusher, Scavenger. Oh, there's Mixmaster. We'll grab Mixmaster. First I want to make sure I have enough to build a radar tower. Oh, I'm glad I checked. I don't have cable. Good. Okay. Wait for the train crossing. So I've been trying to color code these tracks and also remove some of these freight platforms that we don't need, just to kind of help my brain better calculate like how much we're actually bringing into the station. All of these are going to have to move. I made the mistake of pointing out or pointing all of the outputs into the same valley sort of deal, like at the same section, and that's just not, it's such a mess. So we're going to change that eventually, but a lot of this stuff is going to move sideways because what I want to do, if this is going to be a train line right there, which I'm not sure it is, then I want it to be a straight line straight through. So some of this stuff is going to have to move left and right. I'm going to have to, I don't know whether we're going to get into a 2-tiered train station here. It could be an absolute nightmare to do that. I don't know. But we'll see. Which way was Mixmaster going? Oh, Mixmaster was going the other way. Alright, never mind. I won't wait for Mixmaster then. We'll just build our own. I want a red one. Let's go with, I can't go to the Red Forest. We'll go Western Slopes and Megatron. Cool. So for folks that are new, I do take a break once an hour. You get to ride the train. I get to refresh my drink and have a bit of a break. We'll be right back. realized that by going to the western slopes there might be a train crash, so we have to choose 2 stations that are on the main line. I can't do separate trunks. One of the things I need to think about is where this main train line is going to be here along the western coast. I don't think I like where it is now. I think I'd rather send it right down the middle of the water, and that way we'll have a little bit more room left and right, and probably better views of things. Because previously we went straight ahead, straight through that arch, but we're not doing that anymore. As far as I know, we're going to the right. So I think that it might be better that, or maybe we go out around the whole thing. That could be an option too. I do like going by the waterfall though. Have to see. Where am I going? Megatron? I should be going straight through here, yeah? Yeah. How did you get up here? Little spiders everywhere. Just take the train with us. What's in here? Concrete. Nice. Alright, so we need to go back down to the train station. And Mixmaster's here. Good stuff. We will jump aboard Mixmaster. Hopefully we will catch it before it leaves. It doesn't dock for very long, unfortunately. Sweet. Caught it. So you can see how this is a little bit off center, and I'd like to make it straight. And so it's going to be, I think what we're going to end up doing is probably removing one of these train stations and putting the potential middle section that we would take them up a level to the end, I think. Probably the better way to do it. Yay for no train crashes. So this should take us up to the left and all the way up to the Red Forest. And this will give me a permanent radar position. Right now, we've got a couple things marked, but I want to bring more down from the Red Forest. And so I think if I put a radar tower up high, then we should be able to do that. I don't know why this is braking for so long. It goes really slow through here for no reason. I wonder if it's because this is just such a big block on the other side of this, maybe? That could be it. Anyway, usually you want to put the radar things up on tall rocks. So there's a couple things here that are kind of tall. But you can see you can see quite a bit. So that's the radius of a radar tower. So I want to put it probably about here, like about central. Should do it. Should be just about the right spot. I know the chat kind of crosses their fingers for train wrecks, but it really is kind of a pain in the butt. Especially when you know, trying to get something done. I really need to fix this train route too. Satisfactory is a long to-do list. Oh, I know, Kel. I know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off self-driving. And we're just going to stop here. And we'll figure out which of these... Oh, there's all the gas rocks up there. So there is a fourth car up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's empty, as you can see. We don't have anything going into it. This is just not hooked up to anything. So, one of the things I wanted to see was what was up here. And usually, as I said, you want to jump up on something high. I feel like that is probably one of the best bets. There might be a few things higher around. But they are problematic because I don't think I have any filters on me for my gas mask. I have the gas mask. Oh, I do have filters. Do I want to go that far? I feel like that's way over there. I think that's too far to the east. Yeah. Another spot over there. I guess that's probably what I'm looking at there. Yeah, I'd say this is probably good. Probably good. So let's just grab some foundations. I don't know whether we're on the world grid up here or not. Out of curiosity. One, two, three. We'll say it's 4 wide. This is just me being silly and wanting to put it in the middle. And I would say it's probably 5. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Roughly 5. And so right here. I think these things only need the one foundation. Does that look like the middle? I feel like this music was cutting in and out there for a second. It was weird. I think we're going to nudge it a half foundation the other way. Yeah, the music's cutting in and out. I think that's probably good. So then these boys are big. Big, big, big. And I'll just build out here. We'll have to bring power from there. So I want to make sure that I can see what I'm doing. Radar tower. Go. I want the power thing to be facing me. That's good. I feel like that's probably right. Weird that the box... Yeah, okay. So go by the feet. And you can climb up to the top of these if you really want to. I don't know why you would. There is a ladder if you want to get up there. Now, I'll just remove this, and I don't think this is going to be far enough or close enough that we can just do a single line. Oh, just not quite. So I guess we'll go across the river maybe. I actually want to know whether I'm on the grid here. I don't know if I am. I don't think so. No, so we are on... I must have made up my own grid. Who knows what grid I brought up here, but vertically we are not... vertically we might be on at least a meter grid. Nope, we're off. Okay. Well, this was built before the world grid existed. And it's also not the prettiest. It's just kind of like basics. So we will probably change that. I think what we'll do is we'll stay with that little grid there. And I'll just build far enough over that we can get a little tower down. Something that looks at least a little bit cool. I find I have a bad habit in the game of just like putting stuff down temporarily and then it's there for months and months and months and months. So I try to at least have it look semi-decent. Small concrete pillar. Now, will that reach? Oh, really? It gives you like a little nub like that? I didn't think that was what happened. I thought it was going to give me one of these. I guess I have to build that on purpose. That's cool. I didn't realize that the default for the pillars was the little wall mount. That's interesting. I guess it makes sense for the side. I thought it would switch to the top part. Because here it gives you the tower, right? But then, well, that's cool. Maybe we'll just try to do this. Real subtle. Boink. So, before I do that, just so that y'all can see, there's the radius that we're going to have with it. This should give us all the nodes. That's a lot farther than I was anticipating as well. How did I do in terms of guessing? Oh, we don't quite overlap. So this goes just to the edge of this drop pod. And then the new one, yeah, so I don't quite overlap them. We'll have to put another one probably somewhere in here to kind of overlap that area. But this, we've got some of my pure nodes and stuff already mapped. But if I hide the map markers and show the resources, you'll notice that it doesn't show us the resources. It only shows the ones where we've got the radar towers, right? So it's hard to plan and collect stuff. So this is a nice kind of late game thing that we can take advantage of. I get late game, it's like mid game. I can't remember when they come out, but it's around tier 4, I think. Anyway, let there be light. Zap. Green lights are good. We'll paint this back to a normal color. Get rid of all the floaty stuff. Actually, I should go down there and check to make sure that that is... It's in the center. I might want to do a little change on the line. Did I finish this? No. Right on the edge. That sounded bad. Can I blow you up? Did we try this already? I don't remember. To have better aim. We can indeed blow you up. Cool. All right, well, nighttime falls, so it's a good opportunity to look at the map and see what's up. Show me the resources. I did not know there was coal there, but it's impure. I did know there was a coal there. That's normal. Bauxite we've already got. There is not much up here. Normal coal. Ooh. Uranium. Quartz. Caterium. Water. Look at all the bauxite over here. Normal. Pure. Impure. Impure. Alright, so not a lot of bauxite. Oil. I think I did know that. Geyser. Sulfur. Limestone. We don't really need any limestone. We've got lots. So there's not really a heck of a lot. Although that's new. They added that in update 7, I think. And there's no indication as to whether it's normal and pure. Oh, those are the 6 nodes around it. So there's 3 normal nodes and 3 pure nodes. For people that don't know, I can probably pop this up on the wiki, I guess. What is this called? Crude oil. What would it be called? Crude oil. Fuel generator, coal generator. Crude oil, it's going to tell us where we can find them. Resource acquisition. Node, 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 node. Wells? Maybe they're called wells. Let's just check the build menu, because that will tell me what they're called. Resource well extractor. Yeah, they're called wells. So we have to build a resource well pressurizer and a resource well extractor if we want to grab that oil. I did not realize that was there. That's awesome. And what's nice about this is that this is a great big open empty space. So we could collect something from there, and then there's lots of room to build right here. And we could do it in a cool way where that we wouldn't fill in the lake. Like we could have like it on stilts above the lake. Okay, so that's very cool. While it's nighttime, ooh, I missed a bauxite node. Although that's pretty far away. That is normal. So what I like to do with these is just plop them down. We'll do coal. Oops. I guess near is probably pretty good. And that's pure bauxite. Untapped pure bauxite. So what I've done previously, I've belted all of this bauxite in vicinity here, including this one, down to this train station, just because it seemed like the best place to put a train station. We might want to consider putting a train station. I'm not sure how you would find a place around here to put a factory that's central. Everything seems to be kind of split into different sections. I guess we could hook up another train to kind of collect everything. Could do that too. Now it looks like I already have a marker there, so we'll just change it. So we need coal for aluminum production. So it makes sense to maybe bring it all in from the same spot. That's coal. Got a quantum computer drop pod. We cannot get that. These are already overclocked and accounted for. More coal over there, more bauxite over there. Man, you'd almost want to run like a train. You'd almost want to run a train going around in a loop up here and just collect all the bauxite. I feel like I've seen somebody do that before. I'm not sure who it was. Maybe it was Total Eclipse. I don't remember. I definitely remember somebody building a factory in the Red Forest, though. Oh, I hid the resources. So we've got, I guess I should look at it before. Impure coal. And then it's untapped. I'll check to see how we're doing for daylight. Still dark. basically, as soon as the sun comes up, we'll go back down and continue building. This is normal coal. You love the red forest. I never want to build anything there, though. It's so pretty. Well, you could build on stilts and maybe get up above it. Like, you can get really high in this game and not clip into anything. The problem with the red forest is that there are, I think it's one of these kind of trees. Some of the trees you can't cut down. I think it's these ones. These little ones you can maybe, but then the big ones you can't. So you got to be careful. So the idea that I've seen a lot of people do in the red forest is that they get up real high above the trees, and then they build their platform up there, and then they have their transport paths, like their hypertubes and their train lines, all down here through the trees. So it's really pretty. And then when you get up top, you get a really nice view, which is cool. We did that. There is a normal coal node. There's a lot of coal up here. It's just not convenient. Is that all the coal? I guess I should mark the uranium. I don't even know if I have a color set up for uranium yet. I didn't check to see what type of uranium it was. Kind of a green color. Oh, it's normal. Do I have... Well, Devastator green is pretty close. Not bad. I do find it funny that Devastator's default color is like uranium green. Don't know how you do with the height being above the trees. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair too. Oh, looks like I found another water geyser untapped. I think that's actually supposed to be a well. We've got 2 normal quartz nodes. The real quartz treasure trove is over here somewhere. Yeah, so that we've got normal, 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 and then 3 normal. So there's 6 quartz nodes over here. And I think there's even a geyser crash site. Oh, sorry. I thought there was a power source over here somewhere so that you could kind of like temporary power stuff. Copper and copper. That's down in... No, that's our coal plant there. Alright, so I'll do the quartz nodes. Those are pretty easy. They're both normal. Yep. Now I find when the stuff is this close together, it's better to kind of spread them out a little bit. Otherwise, you can't hover over them and get the information. I don't know whether that's a glitch that they're working on or what. I guess I should copy and paste this, hey? So I'll just kind of put these close by. I wish you could copy and paste the entire sticker, so like I wouldn't have to choose the color and the icon every time. I mean, at least you can copy paste the title. So that's those guys. There's another pure coal over there. Is it time for pink? Yeah, I just used the pink. Maybe there's a stream delay. Oh, there's more uranium there. Yeah, the red forest is a tricky place. This is the place that I don't like, the bamboo forest. Actually, maybe I should change this to be like the nuclear sign. Yeah. Maybe I'll save that for my factories if I ever get into nuclear power. I don't have any plans to try to get into nuclear power. It just looks so complicated. I've obviously put this in the wrong spot. Or they've moved it. Is that normal or pure? I don't remember. You'd think with how detail-oriented I am in this game that when I'm doing stuff like this, I would actually retain the information I read 30 seconds ago. It's like when you're at a party and you meet a bunch of people and then you turn around and you're like, I don't remember the person's name. All right, this we can just remove. Yeah, it looks like some of these were just off a little bit, hey? Are they all off? No, it's just these ones it looks like. These could have been my old beacons too, because it doesn't have the right formatting. Anyway, I want to put at least one down on this crude oil, normal and pure. And then that's probably, we should be back to daylight, I think, or very close to it. So, crude oil well. And we've got 3 times normal, 3 times pure, untapped. Let's go with that one. So weird how this thing selects your colors. Let's just save that as crude oil. Nice. And our train goes right by that, which is nice. Hey, daylight. Good stuff. Mission accomplished. Pyro TG, hello. I am doing very well this Tuesday, thank you. We worked on the keep in Minecraft. We made some decent headway, expanded the tower. We've been running, I guess, logistics checks and seeing the sites here in Satisfactory. We've mapped out a bit more of the heavy modular frames, and I just put up a radar tower here in the red forest. So now we're heading back down to Devastator, and I think I might attempt to put in a load balancer for the bauxite and the quartz. It's all temporary, but it needs to happen. So where is this oil node? We're going to drive right by it. It's going to be on our right. Oh, there it is there on the cliff. Yeah, right there. We won't be able to see it from down here, I don't think. I think I've seen I Am Kibitz use that. A lot of open space down here to build too. And more coal right there. Yeah, we've got coal within a decent length. I should really turn this into a 2-lane train line. I feel like this trunk is going to need some updates. Oh, thanks, Pyro. Appreciate the lurk. My mic stand is creaky. Sorry if that came through. It might be worth it, you know, to have the trains come in on the above floor. And then we could have a bunch of logistics down here, too. So this is on auto, so I can just jump off. So what needs to happen here is these... I don't know why I'm doing 4 belts, but I am. And that's going to be painful. We can do at least... At least 2 of them. So essentially what has to happen here is I've got to put down a couple of bins, just like that. So we'll start with, I guess, this one. I don't have enough steel. And all the plants and stuff has grown up through here, so we have to get rid of those too. Vamonos, please leave. Alright, so where does that actually come in? It's over there. So I could make this a little bit easier. It's not quite centered, which is again a real issue with the train stations. I think I centered the platforms, but then didn't think about the outputs, and so none of the outputs are anywhere convenient at all. So what I could do is put... Yeah, we'll put the bin here. You're back. Why are you back? Okay. Storage bin. That's close enough. So that will have that coming in, but we'll have to do 2 of them, which means I put that on the wrong one. Definitely don't want to delete the train station. That would be bad. Four. Oh, did that not connect? Oh yeah, that worked. So then we just have to connect 1 out. So the idea is that this bin will fill up and create a buffer, and we have to do this for every line. Or do I? So this is the line we just disconnected. Correct. And I guess we'll just... I knew that would be too much of a pain. Maybe we can get lucky with a wall connector. Nope. So I did this all before you could do ceiling connections. There we go. So essentially now when the train docks, this will fill up, and when the train docks and this flow stops, the output will continue. Is there a train right now? No. The outflow will continue, and then the machines will not get a stall. He just wanted to help me with my math. I really dislike the fact that these things walk inside your base. All the other animals leave you alone, but it kind of ruins the immersion for me. And they're just annoying. Like, they just make noises and they're problematic. That's this one taken care of. I don't know why we have four belts. I did mark down what's coming out, I think. So if I look at Devastator, aluminum production. So this is bauxite. The only bauxite we have mined, or I guess, if I zoom in. Yeah. So we've got 1350, and we get that 1350 from the 4 nodes that are actually up there. So if we look again, we've got 300, 600, and 300. So that's 600 with these two, 1200, and then 1350. And that's all going on the Red Forest Bauxite Collection train. So I don't need all of these belts. I think what's happening is that I've decided to use 4 belts down at the aluminum factory, and that's why I've got 4 belts coming out. But that seems like a crazy amount. So in order to get 1350 down here out of these 3 bins, I mean, I guess 1350 divided by 6 is all I really need. $225. So Mark III belts would be fine. And then if I divide that by 2... Yeah, so 675. I could easily be doing single belts. Instead, I'm doing 4 belts. Alright, before I put in the next one, let's go down to aluminum. I just want to see where these belts are going. I guess I could just take the belts, shouldn't I? This is the only bauxite we're bringing in. I believe I have stacked all 4 on top of one another. Yes. So rather than splitting them all in the factory, I've split them all at the train station, which is a poor use of resources because it's taking up a lot of space here on the main belt. So there's where they all turn in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and tidy. Blech. It is a fast way to travel. One of the cool things that you can do is put down belts like this. Along your roads. And then you grab like a super fast belt like a Mark V. And so like if you're running a long way and you don't have a hypertube, you just kind of like scoot over here and just woo, away you go. Great for getting yourself a good launch with the jetpack too. And you can probably use beams to like get yourself like really close to level. And the right conveyor will be like almost level with the floor. But obviously the Mark V is the ones you want to use. Alright, so this is where all 4 come in, inside the wall. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And these 2 go out straight away. And they head down this way. And the first one goes down into the first machines, and the next one goes down into the next machines. Why? They're all going into the same machines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess I've just tried to mitigate the load balancing. Yeah, this is a bad design. I remember rushing through aluminum to try to get the sheets that we needed for the right belts. So it's 120 bauxite per minute for each one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 120. All right, so that's why there's 2 belts. Is because we don't have a single belt that will do all 7 machines. And there are 14 machines total, which is 1680. 1680 divided by 4. 420. So that's why I've done it that way. The problem is that there's only 3 cars of ore. And I don't know if I have enough ore or enough cars for the ore. So really I should be bringing in as few belts as possible. But at least now I know why I've got 4 belts. But what I should be doing is making this split in here or down there or something. Which is a silly thing to do inside that wall. I could just expand that a bit. And this is also, I mean, it looks okay, but I feel like we could do much better, I feel. Feel like we could do much better. Alright, now I know why there's 4 belts. I think I will probably make the decision to balance things here rather than at the train station. It's the song that sounds like it's off Top Gun. That's right. I remember that now. I remember that from the last time we listened to the Satisfactory soundtrack. How's the music volume, by the way? It's good for me. It's at 50%. But does it come through clear enough on stream? Much better with the Satisfactory soundtrack. That makes sense. Alright, so that's backed up for some reason. Oh, I wonder if my buffers are probably full. So we do have the 4 belts, so I think rather than rock the boat, I'm just going to put in 4 of these where I can. And I think the easiest thing to do is just going to be to line them right up. So that's for that one. That's for that one. And that's for that one. We only have 3 cars, so I'll have to just figure out what the best way to do that is. Oh, we're out of gas. Gonna want the hover pack for this anyway. So our next car is this one. I'll wait for this to leave. So that's the inputs. This will be here. And there. Output. There's probably cleaner ways to do this, but this is kind of the room that I have right now. And then we just have to hook this up to this line right here. Single output right there. Oh. I guess what I'll do is I'll bring this down almost to the ground. That should be bauxite. Please be bauxite. Make sure I did that right. Yep. Okay. So that's that box filling up. The next one. So here I'm going to do 2 boxes out of the same cargo. I don't know where the 4th... There's 3 and 4. But there's only 3 of these. So I'll just not rock the boat. I'll connect this to the bottom one. again, it's not going to look very pretty. And then this one get connected to the top one. I wonder if at some point there was 4 cars of bauxite. That might have been the case. So these bins unfortunately will not have 2 inputs and outputs. No, I did not want to delete that. So here is going to be the same sort of thing. We'll just remove the temporary belt. Oh my gosh, is that a straight line? It actually is. Look at that. And then lastly, we'll hook up this guy. Here. Not a straight line. So this is just going to go straight through. It will fill up a little bit because we've got a block. So now the easiest thing to do is just go back and probably empty my buffers. Because one of the things that we have that's a fault with our design, if I look at my spreadsheet for the aluminum production, is right here. Industrial fluid buffers. 10 buffers, but I have to flush them manually. Otherwise our production halts. And so that is where we are at now. Calarium, I think that's the username. Cool username. I hope I pronounced it right. Thanks very much for the follow. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Could have accidentally deleted a train station. There, that's true. That is the truth. So yeah, with this is not flowing, and I didn't see any silica flowing around either. So if we check out the silica, oh, it's moving. I wonder if it's just... That's full. If all of these are full, then that's the situation. Yep. I'm going to flush the full network. Yes. That should just be these blue pipes. I've decided to add more color to this design, even though it's meant to be like an evil Decepticon themed build. So now we've got scrap going up. We should see the bauxite start to move. Don't know why it wouldn't. I guess some of this has to start flowing first. Yeah. 5% efficiency because it was off. Again, this is not the best. Why are none of you guys moving? Oh, did I only flush the one network? Yes. So the bottom ones are a separate network. That's good to know. Loving the content so far. Thanks. Thanks, Calarium. Cularium? Calirium? If you want to throw the fanatics in chat, feel free. So yeah, I think that was... These were empty, but then these were full. This is now draining, right? 4, 3, 2... Oh wow, it takes a long time. Yep. So this is unfortunate right now that this is a manual flush. What I need to do is connect this to like concrete or something, but it's a lot of water. The output water for this is 840 a minute. So even if we made like wet concrete, it's still a lot. It's still a lot. The good news is we need to make concrete for those beams that we need to make. So that's why I was looking at doing wet concrete for the encased steel beams. I may still do that. I may still give that a go. Run the numbers when I'm not streaming, kind of see what might work. But hey, our bauxite is now flowing. Good, good, good. Anyway, so that is kind of where I'm going to leave it for today. I am going to try to pass you on to somebody else playing Satisfactory. Barring that, I'll pass you on to somebody playing Minecraft. We played both today. I feel like both would be a good spot for people to land. I need to switch my... There we go. Oh, I have no gas. I really don't need to switch to that. That would be bad. Culerium. Okay. Cool. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming by. Sounds like you've been watching maybe in the background for a little bit. Raid suggestions in Discord. Sounds like a plan. Cosmic, thank you. I think the next time I do some Satisfactory stuff, I might dedicate some time to, wow, bouncing my face off of towers. Decorating. I think one of the things that's holding me back from doing more inside of this building here that we started off with, I think is the fact that I don't like the way that it looks. I really want to get in here and do some Devastator details. I like the purple on his knees. I like the steel of his upper thighs is kind of what inspired these shapes. You can kind of see that, but we've got so many new parts now with Update 7. Like, I really feel like there's a lot going on. Skunk Puncher, thanks for the raid. What were you up to do on stream? I really appreciate you sharing your viewers. Yeah, so I think we need to sort out a little bit more about how this is going to look. I know that I don't want to add any more width over there because of the way that the landscape is. So I think what I'll do, because we've got lots of room over here, but not much room over here, I'm going to start on the right-hand side and then find something we're happy with, and then we can copy it over to the left when we have a chance. And I still don't know about this horizontal bus. I might have to sacrifice my sanity or my stubbornness and go with a vertical bus down here. We've got the room once we get past the rock cliff here. We'll see. Playing some Satisfactory, says Skunk Puncher. Was working on a train station. Nice. I've got a couple of temporary train stations here. One of the coolest things we did recently was figure out how to do our first roundabout. So we've got a nice place for trains to turn around. It's not very big and it's temporary. I think we're going to put a much bigger one in the middle of the lake. But for now, that's kind of where we are. The big development we've made with trains is that I've used signs to make blueprints for like maglev towers. So they're not actually attached. It just kind of looks like the train tracks are hovering with energy. If you didn't catch it when you first came in, we're doing a Transformers theme. So a lot of Energon, a lot of Decepticons, a lot of purple and bright colors and stuff from the 80s. That's kind of our go-to right now. But yeah, so some of this stuff is going to change. But we're in the process of bringing this big factory up to speed. And we've got all of our temporary stuff back up and running now that we've got 60,000 megawatts of power coming in. So we're good to go. It's all the tasks are currently monumental. So it's fun, but it's slow going. First time player of the game about 2 weeks, so you're still learning a ton. That's awesome, Skunk Puncher. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I'm glad that you're learning. It's a really fun game. And as a building game, like I come to it from Minecraft, and it's just super, super fun. It's very satisfying to, decimate the landscape and build all the things and hook up all the pipes and see all the things going. And it gets complicated, but it's a lot of fun. I would say the best thing and best advice I would give you is just take your time. Take your time. Take your time to plan stuff. Take your time to explore. Try something. The thing that I have to remind myself so much about Satisfactory is that it is so quick to undo something if you build something in the wrong spot, you can move it like within seconds. My Minecraft brain thinks, oh, if I build this in the wrong spot, it's going to take me an eon to take down. And that's not the case in Satisfactory. I have to kind of like relearn that. Oh, thanks. Yeah. So like I said, we're building this based off of Devastator. And we also have another build, which is based off of Megatron. And we've got even like a Megatron board that we use for inspiration for shapes and colors and things. So I'm going to make a board like this for Devastator because I've got other images that I want to kind of refer to. But imagine in the center of your screen, instead of that little teeny tiny purple chest crest, see how he's got this, this cool thing? Like I built that way back when like update 4 was around. We have all the parts to make that look very, very cool now. And imagine that being honestly about the same size that you're seeing on your screen and about the same height. Like I'm basically going to put Devastator's torso right where you're seeing it on the screen on the factory. It's going to be pretty fun. It's going to be pretty fun. Unfortunately, Skunk Puncher, you came in just as we were wrapping up. So I am going to review the looks like we've got no Satisfactory streamers, but I'll check my feed just in case. Who are we following? Does not look like there is any Satisfactory streamers. Correct. Well, there are some people. I just don't know them. I would say it's probably a good idea to raid we haven't raided Megabyte in a long time. I'd like to pass you all on to Megabyte. Megabyte's great. I think they have an adult language warning on their stream, just to kind of FYI, but we'll pass you on to Megabyte. They're playing Minecraft, but it's a really fun community, I think, to be part of. So, if you would like to follow before you take off, please do so. I will be streaming back here tomorrow, 1 o'clock Atlantic. I will be starting with Satisfactory tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Today we started with Minecraft, but tomorrow will be a full Satisfactory day. So it's UTC minus 3 hours. At Joel Duggan on social media, Joel Duggan on Twitch, Joel Duggan on Patreon, if you'd like to join the Discord. And check out the Spawn Chunks podcast, which is all about Minecraft. Just to have a new episode out today. Fun stuff. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks ever so much to Cosmic. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for the support, the subs. A lot of people in May are renewing their subs, and I truly appreciate it. I get to do this as a full-time job. So it's because of you folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.